Hey y'all, I'm Emily Bowie. I'm a mix engineer in Nashville, Tennessee, and today I wanted to talk about the brand new Core EQ from Kit Plugins. Now, at first glance, you might think that this is a pretty simple plugin, and it is, but it also packs a lot of desirable EQ curves and transparency. If you're new to this plugin, you might initially want to compare it to, say, an SSL, because a lot of the knobs are pretty similar. You've got your boost and cuts along with a different Q design and sweepable EQ. But the biggest difference here is that the Core EQ is going to be a lot more transparent, and you're going to be able to drive this thing pretty hard without hearing any sort of big shifts in your sonic characteristics. Now, the way I've been using this plugin for a little bit now is on group settings, background vocals, or even pianos, your keys. I think that those are some elements that I'm already recording the tone and sound and characteristic that I want, and I don't want to alter that with an EQ that's changing its sonics and adding too much saturation. So let's take a look at how I've got this set up on my background vocals. But first, I want to play a little bit of the song for you. It's a really good track by producer Pompeii, and I've got all the information down there, so you can check that out. It's on all streaming platforms right now. And thank you to Aubrey Pompeii for letting us use this track in our tutorial video. So let's take a listen. Just really loving that song. So I'm running all of the backgrounds, all of the harmonies to one track. I like to keep it simple, you know me, and just EQing it with the new Core EQ. Now we'll go ahead and solo all those up for you. Take a listen with it in, with the Core EQ in and then out. Step out on faith, beautiful mistake. Step out on faith. Beautiful mistake. So really adding a lot more just back in and just, you know, connecting all of those different parts together real nicely. And I think the key in doing that is to EQ everything on a group track or a group auxiliary track. So what do we got going on? We are high passing at around 120, just to get rid of all that rumble and kind of throat sound. Not doing anything down here with the low filter. Low mids, we are cutting a little bit. I pretty much do this on all vocals, even lead vocals. I'm cutting anywhere between, 200 to 300, and usually in the lower part of the 300, so 237. And I've narrowed the Q just a little bit there. I like to do that when I'm cutting. I don't like the narrow cuts. Unless, we've got just a really bad, ringy kind of honky sound in something, and I'm usually hearing that on a snare or in a vocal every now and then. But we are cutting out just 2 dBs of that. And on our high mids, we've got a little bit of a boost at almost 2.5K, quite a bit. That's just, bringing out that articulation, and we're leaving the Q just at its default setting. I think anytime that you boost, that's pretty good. Keeping it, smooth and not just wanting it to poke out, but just wanting it to blend in nicely. And we've got the shelf feature engaged at just under 10K and boosting that quite a bit. Now, here's what I was talking about, where you can really drive this thing, and, there's no coloration, at least not any significant coloration that's messing with messing too much with the sonics of your audio tracks. And so that's why I'm able to boost that fairly high, and it's not distorting, it's not clipping, it's not giving me any sort of crunch. And these are vocals. If you were to put, and for example, an SSL EQ or start boosting around 10K, 9, 10 dB, you're going to start getting some real crunchiness up there. And you don't get that with this. So let's listen to it in and out again. Step out on faith, beautiful mistake. You think crazy, crazy. You think crazy, crazy. Wow, that really really cleans things up, really opens up the top end there on the vocals without changing any sort of the tone or the characteristic of the vocal. You know, we're blending a lot of things in, and I don't want to change any of that tone and just, you know, make it fit and spread out a little bit for the mix to really shine and have the vocal, you know, poke through just a little bit. That's, you know, a lot of our ear candy is in those harmony vocals on pop tracks like this. So if you're needing something a little bit more transparent, really smooth, and your EQs, then check out Kit Plugin's Core EQ. I think you're really gonna like it, and you can't beat $29. But thanks so much for watching, y'all. I hope you found something helpful and useful out of this video, and we'll talk again real soon.